There are over 400 species of fish in the Amazon River, but only one hippopotamus. How did it get there? Hi, it's me! Hi, it's me! And you're watching this channel. When you think of a hippopotamus, you probably imagine it hanging out in a watering hole in Africa. But did you know that there are also hippos in South America? That's right. There are around 100 of them in the Amazon River, thousands of miles away from their African cousins. So, how did they get there? Well, it all comes down to this. When I first saw this creature, I thought it was some kind of monkey. I mean, look at its size compared to a human. The smallest primate is the pygmy marmoset, which is about the size of a ping pong ball. The biggest is the gorilla, which can reach up to 6 feet tall. Now, if you're good at math, you'll realize that this creature isn't quite as tall as 6 feet. So what's going on here? Well, this guy is actually a nutria, a large rodent related to the beaver. I just made it look like a primate to show you how big it is. Nutria can weigh up to 33 pounds, almost as much as a golden retriever puppy. And when they stand on their hind legs, they can be almost 2 feet tall. But if the Amazon had these large rodents, why did I think it was a monkey? Well, it's because of this guy. When you hear the word monkey, you might think of long, luscious locks swinging through the jungle. But this guy looks more like Chewbacca than Tarzan. These guys are capybara, which is the largest rodent in the world. They can weigh over 100 pounds, and they're also excellent swimmers. In fact, they're so good at swimming that they have webbed feet. Capybara spend most of their time in the water looking for food. They use their front teeth to slice through water plants with the same ease that you might slice through a carrot. And their favorite food is, drumroll, please, hippo grass. Yep, just like hippos. So, we've got large swimming rodents in the Amazon and we've got hippos in Africa. What could possibly connect the two? Well, let's take a trip back in time. This is an ancient hippopotamus. It lived in North Africa around 5 million years ago, and it looked pretty similar to today, S. hippopotamus. But this one had a much longer face and bigger teeth. And those teeth were perfect for grinding tough plants. See, this plant was called acacia. And acacia grows in dry places. And the Serengeti is pretty dry if you go at the right time of year. Now, fast forward to today. Acacia still grows in the Serengeti. And guess what? Hippos still eat it. But things aren't quite so simple. You see, there's a problem when you live in a dry place. You need to find water fast if you want to survive. And hippos don't do well in dry places. When they sweat, they secrete a red substance called hematoidin, which dries up the skin and makes them very uncomfortable. So, hippos must spend a great deal of their time in water. But there's another problem. When you live in water, you can't really run around. You're much more likely to meet some friends if you hang out by a river. But being friendly isn't always a good thing. I mean, who hasn't been mugged by a hippopotamus? Exactly. Mugging is basically a hippo version of robbery, where one hippo takes food from another. But hippos are pretty chill otherwise. They like to hang out with other hippos. And there's safety in numbers. After all, nothing motivates a mugger more than an unarmed victim. And mugging is stressful, and stress can make you sick. In fact, scientists believe that stress is one of the reasons why hippos get skin infections. And that brings us to our story today. Around 300 million years ago, something strange happened. The ancestors of modern-day hippos split off from the main group of artiodactyls, or even-toed ungulates. These are mammals that have an even number of toes on each foot. Cows, deer, and pigs are all artiodactyls. And for a while, scientists could unfigure out why early hippos chose violence and went rogue from the other even-toed mammals. But in 2021, researchers found some answers. It turns out that after hippos split off from other artiodactyls, they began living more like us. Not in the water, but in the trees. This would explain why they developed such long faces, since many primates have long faces. But then, something unexpected happened. The climate cooled, forests shrank, and grasslands grew. and the ancestors of the hippopotamus were forced to flee to the water to escape the heat and the predators. And that's how the hippopotamus became the hippopotamus. And to learn more about megafauna from the Amazon, check out this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.